The war between humans and the Zillerans had burned across the galaxy for over 2 decades. Humanity, proud and ambitious, had stumbled too far into unknown systems, and in doing so awakened an empire that wanted nothing to do with them. The Zillerans were a tall, angular race with crystalline skin that shimmered like fractured glass under the faintest light. To most humans, they looked terrifying, alien beyond comprehension, with jagged facial structures and glowing veins of pale blue energy that pulsed beneath their transparent flesh. Among them was a young Zilleran woman named Serenia. Unlike the others of her kind, who wore their crystalline glow like living armor, she believed she was malformed. Her body shimmered less than the others. Her facial angles were sharper, her glow weaker. Even her own people mocked her when they thought she couldn't hear. They whispered she was flawed, a dim crystal. She carried this shame like a wound, hiding herself beneath hooded cloaks and keeping to the shadows of her ship. It was during a violent skirmish on the icy moon of Drenvalis that Serenia's fate shifted. She had been assigned to a small medical transport, hardly a warrior ship, when a human strike ripped through the Zilleran fleet. Her vessel spiraled down, smoke and fire trailing behind as it tore through the ice sheets. Alone, injured, and trapped inside the wreckage, she prepared for death. But death did not come. Instead, a human soldier appeared, one who should have been her enemy. His name was Captain Elias Ward, a decorated officer of the United Terran Forces. He had been separated from his squad in the chaos, his dropship destroyed in the same battle. When he stumbled upon the smoldering Zilleran craft, he nearly walked away. Every instinct screamed at him, "Leave her. They are the enemy. They would never spare you." Yet, when he heard the faint, pained sound of her voice through the fractured hull, something stopped him. He tore open the jagged metal and found her inside, pinned beneath a beam. Her glowing veins flickered like a dying star. Her crystalline eyes, wide with fear, met his. And against every law, every regulation of war, Elias chose to lift the beam and pull her free. Middle, the frozen moment. The 2 unlikely survivors found shelter inside a nearby ice cavern as the battlefield raged outside. Elias carried her when she collapsed, her wounds leaving trails of faint blue light in the snow. He wrapped her in emergency thermal fabric, sharing his rations and heat pack. For hours they sat in silence, 2 enemies too exhausted to fight. Finally, Serenia spoke, her voice fragile but sharp, like shards of glass rubbing together. "Why?" she asked. "Why save me? You should have left me in the wreckage. My kind would not have spared you." Elias shrugged, staring into the small plasma fire he had lit. "Because you were dying. And I couldn't just watch." She studied him, as though trying to pierce through his human skin with those crystalline eyes. "You pity me then?" "No," Elias said firmly. "I don't." Silence fell again. Serenia curled into herself, pulling the cloak tighter. She hated the way his gaze lingered on her. Humans must think her monstrous, she thought. All humans did. Even Zillerans did. Her face was too sharp, her light too dim. She had never been called beautiful, not once, not by her kin nor her commanders. Hours turned to days as they hid in the cavern, waiting for rescue, either Zilleran or human. They shared food, traded stories in fragments. Elias told her of Earth's oceans and green forests, things Serenia had never seen. She told him of Zalaris Prime, with its endless crystalline plains that glowed beneath the twin suns. One evening, when exhaustion pulled her walls down, Serenia let her hood fall back. The dim shimmer of her skin reflected the firelight, broken and uneven. She quickly turned her face away, ashamed. Elias frowned. Why do you hide yourself like that? She laughed bitterly, a hollow sound. Because I am hideous. Even among my people, I am considered flawed. My crystal is dull. My light is weak. You stare at me now, human, but do not lie. My kind terrifies you. I am not beautiful. She froze the moment Elias whispered the word. You are, he said quietly. Serenia stiffened, her mind blank. For a long moment she could not breathe. No one had ever said that to her. Not her family, not her peers, not anyone. She turned her glowing eyes on him, searching for mockery. But his face was calm, sincere. I don't care what your people think, Elias continued. You saved me as much as I saved you. And right now, sitting here, you're the most beautiful thing I've seen in this frozen wasteland. The words cut through her shame like a blade through ice. She trembled, unable to speak. Her crystalline skin flickered faintly, her glow pulsing stronger, betraying her emotions. For the first time in her life, Serenia felt seen, not as flawed, not as ugly, but as something worthy of admiration. Rising conflict between two worlds. But the war did not stop for them. On the 7th day, both humans and Zillerans discovered the cavern. A skirmish erupted outside. Elias and Serenia were forced to choose sides, or so it seemed. When a human patrol dragged Elias away, they nearly executed Serenia on the spot. Only Elias's furious protest saved her. She's not the enemy, he shouted. She's alive because of me, because we chose mercy. The soldiers didn't listen. To them, she was nothing but a hostile alien. Bound in chains of light, Serenia was hauled toward the human camp as a prisoner. But in the dark of that night, Elias came to her cell. He pressed his hand against the barrier and whispered through the energy field. I'll find a way, he promised. I won't let them treat you like this. Serenia felt the warmth of his words ripple through her veins. She nodded, whispering back, and I will not forget what you called me. The days that followed tested them both. Elias argued for her humane treatment, risking his career. Serenia, meanwhile, was interrogated, mocked, and called a dim crystal even by her human captors. Yet in those fleeting stolen moments when Elias spoke to her, she clung to the single word he had given her. Beautiful. It became her shield. Climax, the escape. The war shifted suddenly when Zilleran forces launched a massive offensive to reclaim their people. The camp where Serenia was held became a battlefield. Explosions rocked the sky, fire tearing through the barracks. Amid the chaos, Elias fought his way to her cell. The power grid was failing, alarms blaring. He smashed the control panel and dragged her out. Come on, he shouted. Together, they sprinted through the flames, dodging collapsing structures. Human soldiers tried to stop him, accusing him of treason. Zillerans fired from above, unsure if he was friend or foe. But Elias didn't care. All he cared about was the alien woman running beside him, her glow flickering like a living star in the smoke. At last, they reached the shattered edge of the battlefield, where an old Zilleran shuttle lay abandoned. Serenia's hands, trembling but skilled, activated the controls. The ship roared to life. As they ascended into the stormy sky, Elias looked at her. Where now? Her crystalline eyes softened. Anywhere but here. Ending a new light. Weeks later, far beyond the front lines, they found themselves hidden on a neutral trading world. The war raged on elsewhere, but here in the quiet neon-lit streets, they were only two souls trying to heal.